All right, good evening, Leandro. How are you? How do you feel today?
Good evening. All good. And you?
That's great to know. I'm fine as well. Thanks for asking, Leandro. Let's begin, please, with today's class. We have to finish, well, this unit with two lessons, all right? These are not going to be new lessons, but we're going to practice them more so that you, well, know how very well how to manage them. So we're going to start with this one that it's something, again, that it's not new, but has to be clearer in the sense that you have to be sure when you have to use gerunds and when you have to use infinitives. All right, but let's try to see what you remember. We got to cover at least a little bit about gerunds. What do you remember about the gerunds, Leandro?
Uh, Gerunds, it's the verbs with ing, right?
Yes, that is correct. It's a verb with ing, but it's used in specific situations, right? And remember that a gerund is a verb with ing, and also the present participle is the verb with ing, right? But remember, if you say I am eating, that eating with ing, it is not gerund, right? A gerund is something different. And if you remember, I'm going to give you the definition. It's like a verb that becomes a noun by adding ing, right? And there are three main reasons, or not reasons, main situations in which you use gerunds. I don't know if you remember when you have to use gerunds.
Mm, I don't remember.
Don't worry, let's try to remember with some examples. For example, if I say dancing, right? Dancing salsa is my passion, right? Dancing salsa is my passion. So where am I using the gerund there, and what is the function of the gerund?
The gerund is in dancing.
Correct? And what is dancing in that sentence?
A noun.
It is a noun, and it's working as what? Is it the subject, the verb, or the complement?
The subject.
The subject, right? Good. So remember, you can use gerunds as subjects because they are nouns, right? And remember, you have to say dancing because if you say dance, it is going to be incorrect right at the beginning. Also here, if I say I always enjoy, let's say, traveling to new places. Okay, I always enjoy traveling to new places. So again, what is the gerund there, and why do you think I'm using the gerund there?
It's traveling.
Correct. And why? Why am I saying I enjoy or I always enjoy traveling to new places?
Um, I always enjoy traveling. It's a subject
Close.
also.
It's the first one actually. It's not a subject because the subject has to be at the beginning, right? Here is like the noun, right? It's a
No.
noun. But if I say this, is it correct or incorrect? If I say I always enjoy to travel to new places, or I always enjoy travel to new places. What about those two? Are those two correct or incorrect? What do you say?
Um, traveling is the correct and travel is incorrect.
Exactly. So when you say enjoy to travel or enjoy travel, any of those two is incorrect, right? So what is the rule? That you use gerunds after some verbs, right? And you have to memorize those verbs. Some verbs are always going to be followed by gerunds. All right, that's the second. And the third one, if you remember, you use gerunds with prepositions, right? With all prepositions. And again, I'm going to try to make you remember. I don't know if you remember this example. How do you say, yo estaba pensando en comprar, I don't know, right? En comprar una televisión. How do you say that? Yo estaba pensando en comprar una televisión.
I was thinking, and I was thinking in buy a TV, buying a TV.
Close, close. Remember that after think, you don't use in. That's incorrect. You have to use of or about.
Of about.
And those two
Thinking
are
about.
prepositions.
Mhm.
Exactly. And as they are prepositions, you have to use always gerund after the prepositions, right? So if you say only buy is going to be incorrect. It has to be buying, right?
Buying. Okay.
Buying. The word after the verb after the preposition is always with ing, right? So one more time. How do you say that one more time?
I was thinking about buying a TV.
Exactly. Now this one, remember, I'm going to tell you the word. Okay, I'm going to tell you the word. It is interested in. Okay, interested in. So the same idea. How do you say yo estaba interesado? All right, yo estaba interesado en. How do you say that? Um, en correr mañana por la mañana or mañana. Just that. How do you say that?
I was interested in run tomorrow.
Close,
Running
but remember.
tomorrow.
Exactly. Run is going to be
Running.
incorrect. Running. Exactly. Correct.
Running.
Very good. So those are the three. Okay, remember. But let's take a look that together. Remember that you have three forms of the verb: the base form, eat; infinitive, to eat; and gerund, eating. Okay, and you have to use them in different situations. Okay, you use the verb base form with gerunds. For example, what is a gerund? Can, could, would, should, must, will, right? Those are gerunds. So you say, I will eat, I can eat, I should eat, right? Base form. Infinitive, as you're going to see here, also has some rules after some verbs, for example, right? The verb need, after need, you always use infinitive. So you say, I need. So if you always say infinitive here, Leandro, how do you say, yo necesito aprender inglés? How do you say that?
I need to learn English.
Correct, right? So after need, always infinitive, right? To eat, to learn, to go. And gerund is what we said, right? Subject after some verbs, after prepositions. So let's take a look at that. Let's read this, please, Leandro.
Okay. Rules. And there are rules to use those verbs. For example, we should use the best form of the verb to talk about commands and after models. Commands. Write a sentence, please. Turn on your camera, please. Models. I can play the piano. She would like to eat pasta.
Okay, good, perfect. So very easy, a very easy question. Where is the base form in all these examples, Leandro? Where is the base form in all these examples?
Right.
Good.
Turn.
Yes.
And play and eat.
Okay, good. And actually, instead of this one, this is infinitive, right? To eat.
Infinitive.
So
To
actually
eat.
here, this is the base form, like. Okay,
Okay.
I would like, because in model, base form, model, base form, and after like you can use infinitive or gerund, right? If you use base form
Okay.
after like, it's going to be incorrect, right? So good. So commands. What is a command? An imperative, right? Something that you say someone to do, right? Write a sentence, please. Turn on your camera, please, right? So let's practice by speaking. What commands can you give, Leandro, or what commands do you usually give if you give commands to anybody?
Mm, um, um, grab your trash, please.
Okay, yes, grab your trash, please. That's a good one. One more, please.
Mm, and clean your clothes, please.
Oh, okay, good. Yes, clean your clothes. Usually, it can be cleaning, right, if it's a specific type, but usually with clothes, you're going to say wash, right? Wash your
Wash.
clothes.
Okay.
Good. It's correct. Now, what is the negative form of this sentence? How do you say this in negative? Write a sentence, please.
Don't write a sentence, please.
Very well. There's only one way to talk about commands. Affirmative is the base form, and negative is don't, right? Always. That's the only possibility. Good. And what about models? Tell me, please, something that you can do. It means an ability that you have, Leandro, using can and the base form.
I can take photos very well.
Good, that is correct. Great. I can take photos very well, right? Or you can say I can take great photos, right? Or good photos. And any of those is correct. Good. That's an ability that you have. Now, instead of would, no, actually would. What is something that you would like to do? What is something that you would like to do?
I would like to drink water.
Okay, yes, perfect. Okay, so this is just practicing, and this is not the main lesson today, but this is how you use base verb, right? Very simple. Now, gerunds. This is something that we already did, and so we're going to read just a couple of examples because we know this, okay? We're not going to practice with gerunds. We know this, we're just going to reinforce. So let's read, please, the explanation plus those two examples.
Okay, gerunds. Use gerunds to talk about activities as the subject of the sentence. And dancing is my passion. Learning English is important for any profession.
Very well, good. Just this word we're going to change. As you have a double S, anytime you have double consonant, this is going to be like Spanish, so it's going to be a, only a, so it's going to be passion.
Passion.
Passion, exactly. So one example, just one example is speaking, please, Leandro. What can you tell me using gerund in the subject?
Practicing. It's what is the correct form?
No, practicing. It's okay, practicing.
Practicing is the best way to take the excellency.
Okay,
I don't know.
good. Instead of take,
Is
you're going to say achieve. Achieve
achieve.
is like alcanzar.
Alcanzar.
Achieve. Good.
Okay.
So that's great. That's a great sentence. Practicing is the best way to achieve excellency, right? Good. That's great. Okay, just that one. That is correct. To the next one again, as we know this is not going to be the main practice. Remember the second usage after some verbs. For example, enjoy, avoid, or after some expressions. For example, can't help, remember, means can avoid, right? Something that you cannot avoid, like this one. And feel like, remember, is something you want to do. All right, so let's read actually those four examples, please, Leandro.
Okay. She enjoys watching horror movies. They can't avoid eating fats. They can't help eating fats. Peter doesn't feel like doing exercise.
Very well. So can avoid and can help are the same. Okay, they are the same. They are synonyms.
Okay.
And remember here, this is like you when you say Peter doesn't want to do exercise. It's like the same, right? It's kind of the same. Doesn't want to. So let's practice, please. This is important because we have to remember at least these verbs, and then you memorize words. So just in speaking, one per expression and verb, please. So let us start with enjoy, but try to give me a sentence in past, please. What example can you give me with enjoy in past, in simple past?
She enjoyed watching horror movies.
Good, that is correct. Now we're going to change. It is correct, but now you give me your own example. Give me with a different gerund and a different complement.
Okay, he bought
But you have to use enjoy.
Enjoy?
It has to be with enjoy, exactly, but with a
Uh,
different gerund and a different
okay. He enjoyed um, playing with his friends.
Okay, that's perfect. He enjoyed playing with his friends. Perfect. Now, one with can help. Remember, it's the same as can avoid. So, what is something that you cannot avoid, Leandro? But you give me the
Sorry.
answer with can help. One example with can help. Remember that can help means can't avoid. In other words,
Mhm.
something that is difficult for you not to do. Okay, you have to do
Okay.
it because you feel that you have to do it.
Okay. I can help um, helping with your homework.
Good. Yes, it is correct. I can help helping with your homework. That is correct. And the last one, please, using feel like. And try to use it in past also, please. Remember, it means like wanting to do something.
Okay. I I didn't feel like
Correct.
um I didn't feel like um talking with this person.
Okay, yes. I didn't feel like talking to. You can say this person if you have that person in the present also, but if it's past, it's better if you say
That
that
person.
person.
That person.
Exactly. Perfect. That's great. Okay, so please remember, after some verbs, you have to use gerund. After some expressions, you have to use gerund. All right? And the last one, prepositions. So also to practice, please, we're going to read these examples. We use gerunds after all prepositions. So let's read those examples, please.
Okay. I thought of traveling to USA. She's dreaming about dating Chris Evans. And he is looking forward to meeting her. They are interested in learning Chinese.
Very well, thank you. So again, just to memorize these collocations, a collocation is a verb plus a preposition. Okay, and this is another one, and this is another one. Okay, and then you can memorize more. So let's give one example for each, please. What example can you give me for think of? And you can say in present if you want, past or future.
Mm, I think of um, mm, think of going to my home.
Yes, that is correct. And remember, I think of that's something you usually do. And if it's something you're doing right now, you can say that in present continuous, right? You can say, I'm thinking of going to my home, right? But both are correct, but the meaning is a little bit different. What about dream? Dream about.
Mm, he's dreaming um, about buying a PlayStation 5.
Good, correct. About buying a PS5, correct. Well, now look forward to, remember, it's to be excited about something in the future.
Okay. Um, I am looking forward to uh, uh, going to the concert tomorrow.
Yes, that is perfect. Very well. And the last one, please. This is easy, right? To be interested in doing something.
Mm, you are interested in um, in uh, I don't know, in playing football this Saturday.
Yes, correct. Anything that comes to your mind is going to be correct. if you use gerund after the preposition, right? Good. She's interested in learning this, in buying that, in selling that, in going, traveling, right? Any action is going to be correct as long as it is a gerund. All right, so that was gerund, Leandro. Now we're going to go to infinitives. Infinitives have these four ways to be used, but the first one is not as common, okay? They can be subjects as gerunds. They also work after some verbs. You use it to mention another person, all right, when that person does something for you, and when you want to talk about purpose or reason. But let's see that in a better way, all right? So this, remember, infinitive is what? To plus the base form, right? To go, to eat, to travel, etc. Let's go directly to the first one, please, so that we have the time to finish the two lessons we have for today. I'm going to read the first part and then you read the examples, all right? So I start. It says, infinitives can be the subject of the sentence just as gerunds are. However, okay, this is important. However, infinitives are more formal and common in reading English. Okay, so this is not common in speaking. If you want to speak, it's better to use gerunds. Okay, this is very formal. This is too formal and it's not as common actually in speaking. So let's read the examples, please.
Okay. To be or not to be, that is the question. To visit the Grand Canyon is my lifelong dream. To understand statistics, that is our aim. To dance is my passion.
Great, thank you very much. So the same, please. Just one example here because this is not very common and we don't need to memorize. But what example can you give me using infinitive as the gerund, or sorry, as the subject of your idea? Remember, this is like the subject, you have a verb, and you have the complement, right? So what example can you give me?
Mm, um, to go um, to the to the, my to my parents' house um, because um, because it's the birthday of my mom.
Okay, close, close, but you're missing something there. Remember, if you say to go to my parents' house, that's the subject. Then you
Mhm.
say because, right? But because it's not a verb. So we need a verb because you're telling me something like this and it's a phrase, it's correct, but it's not a sentence, so it's incomplete. It's like you're telling me ir a la casa de mis papás porque es el cumpleaños, right? And it's like you're waiting for something else. So you need something else to make it a complete sentence. All right, you're just giving me a
Okay.
phrase. So what could it be? With one verb that you can use in the middle, like the verb to be.
Um, uh, to study is my R. It is or R. To study are my first.
In that one,
Um,
it depends on the subject. So as you say, only to study, one action is going to
mhm,
be is. Is. To
is
study is.
uh, to study is the first thing that I will do.
Yes, perfect. To study, subject, is, verb. The first thing I will do, the complement, right? Also, your first idea, if you change something, can be good. If you say, for example, to go to my parents' house, you can add a verb, right? Was my daily activity, right? You can say that, right? To go to my parents' house was my daily activity. Or even to go to my parents' house because it's their birthday is something that I have to do, right? So all of that is one subject. To go to my parents' house because it's their birthday is one subject, right? And then you have the verb, right? Or it can be
Mhm.
in present, in future, or in past. Okay, but that's the idea, always with a verb so that it is complete. But that's it. All right, again, remember, this is something you have to know, but it's not that important because it's not as common as the gerunds. But now this is more important. Actually, this is very important because you always have to use infinitive after these verbs. You have a longer list, but these are the most important ones. All right, so let's read everything, please, in this case, Leandro.
Okay, after specific verbs. Use infinitives after a specific list of verbs. Afford, agree, decide, have, be obligated, hope, learn, manage, need, prepare, refuse, want, etc. Examples. He agrees to do it again. We have to study for the exam. She wants to buy high heels. I was prepared to take the quiz. Peter needed to read it again.
Great, thank you. So the same logic, right? They can be in present, past, future, I mean these verbs. But if you're going to use an activity after these verbs, they have to be with infinitive in this case. Okay, if you say he agrees, doing is incorrect. If you say he agrees, do is incorrect. Always to do. Agree to do, have to do, want to do, prepare to do, decide to do, hope to do, learn to do, manage to do, need to do. All of them are going to be followed by infinitive. To plus the base form of the verb. All right. So this is something, please, that we need to know. And this is the only thing we're going to write in the infinitive practice. So please, I'm going to ask you to use, again, the link is in the chat. We're going to write 4 ideas. All right, 4 ideas. Once again, you have it in the chat. The link is over there. So we are in unit 2. So let's keep working in unit 2. And please, we are going to do the following. Again, 4 ideas, but one is going to be in present. Okay, so let's use decide. Okay, decide. No, that's going to be okay. No, actually, you're going to decide what is the tense, but I'm going to tell you. You're going to use decide. You're going to use hope. Well, need, that is very important to remember, and refuse. Okay, refuse is when you don't want to do something, right, or anything. So please, from these 4 examples, Leandro, one of them has to be in present, one of them has to be in past, one in future, and the last one in any tense that you want. Okay, present, past, future, and any tense. So I don't know if you have any questions before doing it, please. Remember that you have to use infinitive after all these verbs.
No, I don't have questions.
Okay, let's do it then, please. We're going to have 4 minutes and we check after those 4 minutes.
Okay. I finished.
Perfect. Let's take a look at that then, and we can go to the, well, last two elements for the infinitive, and we have also our last lesson. So we have decides, remember, always infinitive, so decide, decided, or will decide to do, hope, hoped, or will hope to do, needs, needed, or will need to do, but also they can be in continuous, some of them, not all of them. But let's analyze again how you did it. Let me start please reading your example.
Okay, I was decided to do my party in Saturday. Is on, I think. You need to have a lot of lucky. He will refuse to do if don't want to do it. I really hope to buy a PS5.
Great, thank you very much. Again, mainly two little details, all right? Here, remember, you have to use decide as a verb. So to use it as a verb, this is like passive voice, but you don't need passive voice. You only need simple past in this case. So the verb was is not needed over there. Just I decided to do my party and then the day. Okay, so that's the first part, directly the verb. Now, remember that days are used with one preposition that is on. Okay,
Mhm.
in is only for a, let's say, bigger time references like months, years, seasons. All right, in the spring, in 1990, in June, but you don't use in for days, you have to use on. All right, and this with capital letter. Okay, so that's correct. So I decided to do my party on Saturday. Let's mark that. Good. Good. You need to, that's also correct, have a lot of. Lucky is like the person. Okay, you are lucky. But the noun is only luck. Only luck.
Luck.
All right? Luck. Exactly. Okay, a lot of luck. Then he will refuse to do, that's great. So he will refuse to do it if you don't want to do it as well. And I really hope to buy. It's also correct. Okay, those are the only corrections, Leandro. Okay, it is pretty good in general. I don't know if you have any questions about this.
No, I don't have questions.
All right, so let's go to the last two, please. And this is only going to be speaking so that we go to the last lesson. You have to use these verbs, need, expect, persuade, obligate, or mainly persuade, all right? Those three first, because the last one can be in a different way, like obliged, but we're not going to see that. So need, expect, and persuade, plus another person, plus infinitive, so that that person does something for you. All right, so I'm going to read the first one. When you say, she needs you to help her, it means again that she has the necessity, right, that you help her. But here you use infinitive. All right. So let's read only these two over here, please, Leandro. These two.
Okay, and they expected him to be on time. We persuade her to sing tonight.
Great. Only this word, please. As you have a D, D is very strong. So the base form is persuade, and the past is going to be persuaded.
Persuaded. Okay.
Persuaded. Exactly. Good. So expected, persuaded, just because they have a strong consonant. Here you have a T, and here you have a D. Just in that case, you make the ED more noticeable, right? So good. Now let's just work, please, with one example, Leandro. What is something that you need, expect, or persuade someone to do for you? What do you say?
Sorry.
Only one example following this structure. And again, you can use this formula over here. And remember, this is another example. It says, I want you to finish the quiz, right? That's something I want you to do. So only
Okay.
using one verb, you can use want, need, expect, or persuade, plus another person, plus the infinitive and the complement.
Okay. I persuaded him to sell his book.
Correct. Very well. And here it's only with pronouns, but you can also use nouns, right? You can say, I persuaded my brother to sell his cell phone. Or you can say, I persuaded John to do it, right? So you can use names if you want, but that's it. All right. Actually, let's
Mhm.
do one more, please, to have this clear. And it's going to be with want. Okay. Very easy with want. So what
Okay.
example can you give me?
I want Sergio um, make make the dinner.
Good, close. Just one mistake. You
To
remember you
make
say exactly.
to
To
make
make.
the dinner.
Correct. Very well. I want
Yes.
Sergio to make dinner or the dinner. Very well. Okay, so just that one. You can use another person for you to do that. So the last one is purpose. Purpose is like saying because. All right. This is the reason for why you do something. So I'm going to read the first part and then you're going to read, please, just these examples. Okay, so it says, when we do an action with a specific purpose, we use infinitives. In this case, to has the same meaning as in order to. Okay, so you can say in order to pass, or you can say to pass is the same. Okay, so let's read those two, please.
Okay. I have to study to pass the course. She does exercise to feel better.
Good. And usually this answers to the question why. Why do you study? I study to pass the course. Why does she exercise? Why does she do exercise? She does exercise to feel better. All right. So if I ask you this question, Leandro, why do you study English?
Mm, I to to pass the TOEFL.
Okay, good. So I study English, right, to pass the TOEFL. Good. That's one, right? And if I ask you why, I don't know, what is something that you like? Tell me something that you like. Yeah.
Mm, I like play the guitar.
Okay, good, right? So very simple. Why
Mhm.
do you like to play the guitar?
Um, I play the guitar to um uh, pass the time. I don't know,
Yes, it is correct to pass the
like
time, right?
hobby.
Good. And even here, as you need a reason, you can say, right, to be relaxed, right, to pass the
Okay.
time, to enjoy the time, right? Or again, yes, to have a hobby. That can also be a
To
reason.
have a
Right?
hobby. Okay.
Good. Great. Okay, so it's purpose. Anytime you want to give purpose, you're going to use infinitive. Okay? Because of the time we have for the rest of the information, we're going to be finishing here because actually that's it. But any extra practice, please, you have this link. I don't know if you have any questions so that we can go to the last lesson to do it very briefly, Leandro. Let me know, please.
And I don't have questions.
All right, very well, thank you. So let me please delete that one because sometimes it creates confusion. So let's go to the last lesson that is going to be future time clauses. Okay, this is very simple. Why? Because it's how you tell something that can happen in the future, all right, when a certain situation is there. Let's understand that by reading this definition, please.
Okay, definition. Future time clauses are dependent clauses that must to be joined to independent main clauses. It is customary to use the future in the independent clause and the present tense in the dependent time clause. And do not use the future in the time clause.
That is important, all right? You're going to see that in some examples over here. This is a future clause. Okay, future clause is like a complete idea with another complete idea, but they have to be together
Mhm.
to have a meaning. Okay, so I will go to bed when when the movie ends. All right, so those are future clauses. When is connecting that idea, right? When can be at the beginning, when can be in the middle. In this case, you have after. So here, the word to connect that is when, and here it's after. So first the complete idea, after, then the second complete idea. Okay, but the thing that you have to pay attention here is that you don't say when the movie will end, I will go to bed, right? That's incorrect. So in the clause with when or after or any other word, you use present, and in the other clause, you have to use future. All right, so let's read those two examples, please.
When the movie ends, I will go to bed. I will feel more relaxed after I finish my project.
Good. All right, so let's have that in mind, please. One has present, the other one has a future. These are possible future clauses. We're going to practice speaking here. Look at this example. It says, I will, or yes, let's say, I will go to France when I finish my thesis. Okay, I will go to France when I finish my thesis. So first, future, when, present. So what example can you give me using the same idea, Leandro? What is something that you will do when something happens?
Mm, I I will go to bed and when this class finished.
Uh-huh. And you have to use present, so you're going to say when this class finishes in simple present.
Finishes. Okay.
Exactly. Very well. Uh-huh. I will go to bed when this class finishes. Now, the other one is a little bit different. I mean, it's the same grammatically, but the meaning is before, right? So you're going to do something before something happens. So I can say she will, uh, okay, she will go to the party before, I don't know, right? Before the meeting starts. Okay, she will go to the party before the meeting starts. So first she will do that, right, and then the other action. So what is something that you or anybody will do, Leandro, before something happens?
Mm, uh, my friends will travel and before before mm, before to go to the uh, how do you say terminal
It depends.
or
It's also a
airport,
terminal, but you say, okay, yes, it can be an airport, it can be a bus station, it
bus
can be a train
station.
station, right? But also in some places, you can also call it the terminal. Okay, it's not incorrect,
Mhm.
but good, the bus station. So it's good. But remember, here you need to use clauses. A clause is a complete idea that needs something. So instead of before to go, actually, one option is remember before is a preposition, so you can say before going, okay, before
Mhm.
going to the bus station. But here, as you need a complete idea, you're going to say before she goes to the bus
She
station.
goes to the bus station.
Exactly. So one more time, please. One more time that complete idea.
Okay, my friends will travel before they
No, if
goes.
they and as it's they only go, right? Because
Uh,
we, you, they is only base form go.
okay, they go to the bus station.
Perfect. Uh-huh. My friends will travel before they go to the next bus station, right? So first they will travel, then they go there, right? So again, it depends on how the context is. Now, after is the same as when, okay? After is the same as when, the same meaning. But as soon as, it's a little bit special because it has to be very close. So what is something that you will do as soon as something happens, Leah?
Mm, I will go to another class as soon as the first class ends.
Good. That is correct. Very well. Also very well conjugated. And finally, until. Until means that something will happen until something else happens. So when that thing happens, you are not going to do something anymore, right? So for example, you can say, I will study English until I take the TOEFL, right? So after I take the TOEFL, I'm not going to study English anymore. You can say something like that, right? So what is something that you will do until something happens?
Mm, I will study until um until got um got work.
But remember here, you have to use a present, right? Simple present. So how
Get
can you say, and remember, you need a complete sentence. So until I get to
until I
my job.
get
Exactly.
to
And
my
you can
job.
say to my office or to my job is better, to my job. Exactly. So that's it. Remember, you need always a complete idea. Okay, I will do something when something happens. Subject verb before subject verb. All right, subject verb after subject verb, and the same with as soon as and until. All right, so it's correct if you say that without a complete sentence, but it is better if it's complete. So we're going to try to finish by doing the following. Here you have the formula, and you know that you have these words: when, before, after, soon as, and until. So let's finish today by writing, go to the document, please. And in the document, using this logic, remember here you have this, and here are the words. That's great. And please write three examples, Leandro, okay? Only three examples. One with when, one with after, and one with before. All right? And remember, the first part is going to be future, then you have when, after, before, and the second part has to be present. Okay, let's do it, please. Let's
Okay.
have 3 minutes and we check in those 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay. And I finished.
Good. So let's read, please, those examples. I'm going there. I'm here. Let's read them out, please, and let's check how they went.
Okay. I will make the dinner when the movie ends. He will start his career after get out of high school. You will need to take vacation after next year.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, it is good. There is something happening in number two and number three. Remember that they can be with some words like this,
After.
but remember that we're practicing with clauses, and a clause is a complete sentence. All right, and you need a complete sentence in present in the second part. So the first part is a complete sentence in future, then you use when, after, before, and you use a complete sentence in present. Okay, so you need two complete
Mhm.
sentences. Here you have, right? Here you have, I will make, I, subject, make, verb, my dinner complement. Sorry, I think my connection is not very good. Give me a second. Okay, so here you have, it is correct, right? Number one is correct because you have subject, verb, complement, complete sentence, when, subject, the movie, verb, ends. That's also a complete sentence. The complement is optional, all right? Now, he will start his career, right? This is correct, complete sentence. After, now you don't have a subject. It means that this is an incomplete sentence. It can be correct. Remember the rule. If you have a preposition, you have to use gerund, right? That's an
Yeah.
option.
Okay.
But here, you are not going to do this because we're going to practice with clauses. Okay, so this is correct, but this is not a clause. This is a phrase. What is a phrase? A phrase is an incomplete sentence. Okay, that is a phrase, an incomplete sentence, and it's correct. But instead of that one, as you need a clause, you're going to say after he gets out of school,
Gets.
or instead of get out of school is better if you use another word, another verb, graduate. Okay,
Graduate.
after he graduates from high school. Okay, it's better instead of get out, it's like only be out of that place. Okay, but it's better if you say graduates. So now this is correct. And here the same, right? You will need subject verb complement, right? To take a vacation or some vacation in that case, right? A vacation before, now you need a clause. It's okay if you say before next year, but remember you're practicing clauses and you need a complete sentence. So before what? Before what happens, you will need to take a vacation.
Before the next year starts, the work starts.
Good. Yes, it was good. Before the next year or next year starts. Yes, in this case, it's a specific, so the next year starts. Good. So let's do it. I'm going to write it over there. The next year starts. All right. Now it is good. Again, what you did is also correct, but this is just because we're learning future time clauses. Okay. And what's a future time clause? It's a clause which is a complete sentence that gives you an idea about the time. Okay, so when the movie ends, this is a future time clause. Okay, after he graduates from school, this is a future time clause. And before the next year starts, this is another future time clause. What it is giving you is an idea, a very specific idea of time, when that action in the future will take place. All right, so that's it. I don't know if you have questions about these corrections and these ideas, Leandro. Let me know, please.
No, I don't have questions.
All right. So again, because of the time we're going to be finishing here, with this we're done. You can take a look at the rest of the presentation. That is something extra about this structure, but the main idea, at least we got to cover here. Now, I'm going to share with you, please, two surveys. Leandro, the daily survey first. That's for today's class. You have it over there. And afterwards, I'm going to share one more. Okay, let me share please one more. That is the satisfaction survey because this is the middle of the second course.
Mm, okay.
Okay, good. So thanks very much. Again, thanks for being here. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow to continue working. All right?
Okay. Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye
See you
bye. Good
tomorrow.
night. See you.